Welcome back to my box fan build. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to get going on this power system. So I'm going to start back here in the bedroom, and the first thing I'm going to do is install this LED strip light that I bought. I kind of just centered it and then taped it up here just to figure out its length and what I got to do to mount it, because I want it to shine kind of indirect, like towards the back, not straight down, you know. And I also didn't consider this at all when I built this cabinet. So I have these cross braces here, and I already figured out that if I just put a notch centered in the middle ones, I can have the rope light or strip light kind of just go up a little ways in each thing, and then up the sides a little too. And then it'll have a pretty nice even look when it's lit. So what I'm going to do right now is kind of find center, draw a line, and then I'm going to take the router and just put a little notch in these center three, maybe hit it with some stain real quick. And then this is like a peel and stick. We'll see how well it sticks, but I'm going to try that first. And then if that's insufficient, I'll just kind of super glue it. But this is just a cheap 12 volt color changing LED strip. But it's got a nice like silicone thing here, like the LEDs themselves aren't exposed, you know. And it's 12 volt. It comes with a power adapter, which I won't need. This is a 12 volt 1 amp AC/DC adapter. And what I'll do is I'll just take the barrel plug here and probably cut it off and just, you know, solder some wires right onto it. And then it has a remote. I'm going to install this, install my night light right here, and then probably mount all my remotes and my CO alarm. I'll probably put that either here or right there above where I'll, you know, where I'll be sleeping. So on this back side over here, I'm going to drill a little hole up into the cabinet and run the wire up there, and then I can run the wire through these cabinets over to the power. And I think I'll have it come on with the ceiling lights, at least get its power from the same light switch, maybe. I don't know if they're dimmable. I know they are with the remote, but I'll figure that out here in a minute. But for now, get it mounted is the plan. And really, I just need an even measurement. So we have about 8 inches overall. So we're just going to draw our line at 4 from the front on just these middle 3. It's like a 6-foot piece of light tape, which is about the width of the van. I think it's 6'5" or something. But this, you know, is less because of that cabinet to the left of it. I gotta grab my earplugs now. All right, now I'm gonna get some stain on it. It kind of chipped the wood a little too, so I'm just gonna touch it up. I was just thinking how, because that's a Bosch router. It's not mine. But that bit sucks. It's like really dull. And I was thinking, how did a Bosch router come with such a crappy bit? Then I realized that bit didn't come with the router. The bit came with this like door hinge installation kit thing. Door mortising kit. I have other router bits too, but for such a tiny little, brief little task like this, you know, not worth it. And of course I would want this to like dry before I stick a light tape on it, but the area that's getting stained is so tiny that I think it'll be okay. I still need to poly the rest of that, or put 2 more coats of poly on that shoe cabinet box thingy. Still don't know what to call that, like officially. I mean, shoe box can be misleading. And it's not really a cabinet. I guess cubby would be the most appropriate term for that. All right, got some stain on it. All right, we're gonna start, I guess in the middle. That would be the smartest thing to do. So, it's easy to find center because it's 2 pieces, and they just kind of soldered the leads together right there. Figure out which side it is here. Tear the adhesive backing. There we go. That's working. Yeah, you can't stick a sticky thing onto a freshly stained piece of wood, so. But it's sticking surprisingly well to everything else. And what I'll do is just go around these 3 notches and then let the end fall wherever it ends up. And when they're lit, it should look, you know, even-ish. It's kind of dusty, actually. I should have wiped this cabinet a little better to get the dust off. This whole van is just, I still haven't cleaned it, which I need to do. I'll do that today. Just wipe everything down. This is gonna look pretty cool. I'm actually gonna switch it separate, I decided. Because that'd be pretty cool, like mood lighting, you know. Having just this back cabinet lit up and the ceiling lights off. Remember when I said I constantly change my mind? There you go. I don't expect this to like work forever, you know. I think this thing was like 10 bucks. But I do expect it to work for a year or 2, you know. I had something very similar to this under this like breakfast bar thing in my last apartment. And it was pretty cool. I never really used it, but the fact that it's 12 volt and low power consumption makes it perfect for the van. And yeah, that worked out really well because the sides come out to about the center, pretty much where these notches are. So it's a very evenly placed deal. No, these parts aren't going to stick because stain, but everything else is stuck. So what I'll do is just let them hang there, not attached, until the stain dries, which will take a couple hours, and then I'll re-stick them, maybe get a little super glue. All right, next step is to drill a hole right here and get this wire up inside the cabinet. So I'm gonna go get my drill real quick. We need to look at this plug, see how wide that is, because that's how big my hole's gonna have to be. About a 1/2 inch. Actually, I'm gonna measure because 1/2 inch is pretty big. Yeah. I mean, if I squeezed them, maybe 7/16. All right, this is 29/64. Also, this isn't even a wood bit. This is like a cobalt steel bit for drilling through thick steel things. Totally the wrong tool for the job. I shouldn't put the shop vac away just yet. Okay. Will it go through the hole? Or do I need to just go get the 1/2 inch bit like I should have grabbed in the first place? It's a delicate little plug. I don't want to force it. Who put all this carpet here? Come on. Go through the hole. There we go. There we go. Okay. Got this little guy. Which I could like neatly mount. There's a button on it, you know. I could stick it to the cabinet somewhere. Might need to get to that at some, maybe the button should go underneath. Nah. I don't want to look at that. It's got a remote, you know. Yeah, we'll put the button right there. Can you see that? I'll go get some mounting tape. Got the good stuff here, you know. The 3M. Put a little piece on here. Cover up this QR code that I probably need for an app. Does the book have... Okay, the book has the QR code, and there is an app. So that's okay. probably an app that wants to know my location and bank account number and blood type and stuff, you know. It's already on file over there in Beijing. I'll have the wires go. We'll go like this. We'll go like that. Right there. I like that. All right, we'll do this part later. All right, next we're doing night light. This little guy. And I'm hoping I mounted it high enough, because 8-inch mattress, and then my belly would be like here. So, I don't know. It's high enough, I'm just kidding. So I gotta have the wires kind of be in the wall. Gonna undo my knot. That was just for, you know, putting the wall together purposes, so the wire didn't fall down in there. I did the foil tape and cut a V in the foam method, so I can, the wire will slide up and down the wall. So what I'm going to do is strip it, solder it, heat shrink it, and then go underneath and just pull it, you know what I mean? Oops, I used the wrong groove. That's okay. The wires on this thing are like freaking, I'm gonna guess 22 gauge. Oh, 18. I was way off. This is 16, but it's so thick, you know, because it has the silicone jacket. One of you guys suggested I put a like 120 volt outlet back here by the bed, and that's a good idea. I don't disagree with you one bit on that. I'm not going to though. This van's just so small, you know. And this has USB on it. And I'm considering putting something on the wall, like just to the right of it, perhaps, where I could stick my phone. But really, I could just set my phone like right there. It's not that far away. That's a little detail I'll work out, like as I move in, start living in it, decide what little cool little creature comforts I want to do, you know. I think the reading light is a good idea though. I used to read a lot, but that was a really long time ago. Now it's all YouTube and smartphone and things that keep me awake longer than I should be. One really cool thing about camping is you kind of rise with the sun. Like if you watched my October road trip where I went to Wyoming and stuff in the Buick, I talked about how I was getting more sleep in my Buick for those few days than I had been getting at home. Like, that's because I'm not laying there watching TV all night. But what I'm saying is, I want to start reading again. But if you get a book that you're really into, you'll find yourself staying up all night reading it. But that's okay. It's healthy. It's good for you. If you've never soldered before and you want to learn how, just get some wire, some solder, an iron, and then practice. Same with brazing copper or steel or anything, just practice. You want to get the wire hot first, you know. So I let the iron sit on the wire for like 5 seconds or something to get it hot. Then you start feeding the solder in. And once it starts to melt, you can pull it, like flow it, make it flow whatever direction you want it to go. But it won't stick to the wire if the wire is cold, you know. If you're in a pinch, you can actually do it with just a butane lighter. All right. I believe this comes off. Yep, just like that. And there's 2 screw holes. It came with screws. I think what I'm gonna do is use the screws, but I'm also going to put the 3M tape on this because it will fall off if I don't. Because we've got the handy panel and that's it. Otherwise, drywall anchor would be a good thing for this as well. I'm gonna go underneath, pull the wire. Maybe I should get the 3M tape on first. I don't know. This would be a great thing to have a second person for. Hey, can one of you guys go under there and pull the wire for me? Appreciate it. Razor blade would be better than these scissors right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab one. Can a guy make a 20-minute video about installing a nightlight? Ooh. Keep my thumbs away from this fricker here. When I was in my 20s, I used to frickin' hurt myself all the time. Like every week I would cut my fingers on something. Smash my knuckles working on cars. Eventually the monkey learns. Okay, I'm gonna go pull the wire. It's upside down. What the hell? Alright, then I gotta grab my drill. Ow! Ow! Banged my knee. Ow. Hurt my knee. I need you to kiss it. Not my left knee. Not my right knee. My weenie. All right. How does that look? Permanent. And we have a night light. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty slick. On off. Adjustable. Comes way out here. Cool. Luxurious. It's like $100 hotel room right there. All right, I might just go ahead and mount the remotes and the CO alarm thingy. Where do I want the CO alarm? Like here? Or just like there? Where would it be more effective? I mean, on the ceiling, I think, is still like the best place to put it, but there's two problems with that. One, there's like a 90% probability that it would fall off. And two, they say not to do that because carbon monoxide's heavier than air. But it's such a tiny van. And I can't put it on that wall because I'm going to have a TV back there. So let's do the remotes first. And then we'll do that. Hey Max fan, 1998 called. They want their remote back. Look at this thing. It's huge. I don't got to worry about losing it. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it right there because it's giant and it's black. I'm gonna go ahead and put some 3M tape on this as well and screw it. Yeah, you pay extra for the one with the remote. I suppose that's for, you know, it's got a receiver up there in the fan itself, so that is luxury worth paying for, though, because that's essentially my AC, other than, well, you know, it's my climate control for nighttime. So if I wake up, it's all stuffy in here or something, or I rip a big old fart in the middle of the night, I can just reach over and boop, exhaust. Or, you know, it goes the other way too, fresh air. But I think having a window right here, have the fresh air come in, fan can pull it in. When I'm up in the mountains, the bear can, you know, get to me easily. I sleep really good when it's cool. Like, I'm a warm sleeper. If if it's hot and I'm like sweating, I usually got one leg hanging off the bed, you know what I mean? I am gonna put screws in it, but I want to do the, you know. It's lower than the light, but I like it. It's permanent. All right. And those little indentations right there look like the perfect size for tech screws. I'm waiting for them to give me a call, you know, text, sponsor me. I mean, I may have stated once or twice that they're the best screw ever made. All right, for these little tiny little guys, which look like, you know, we got a Prius next to a 18-wheeler here. What I'm gonna do is, there it is. Velcro. I actually bought this for my crown mold that I'm putting over those sides of the van up top for where I'm running wire. So I got the super heavy duty strong stuff that's total overkill for something like this, but you know, it'll work. And actually, let's, well, how about like that? That's not bad. Have them up top. Yeah. Put the diesel heater one next to the max fan one, because that's, you know, climate control, same category. And this is lighting, so I guess maybe like that. Is that weird? Or does it look better there? I don't know. This has a little, it's like a key fob. It's got a little, but this is the battery door. And what I think I'm gonna do is just get a little Velcro on it. I'll put the fuzzy part on the remote. Wasn't Velcro invented by like NASA or something? I think it was. Kind of like that foil tape we're using spaceship materials to build our van here. Feel like I've made a half-hour-long video already and I haven't even actually started working on my power system. I'll admit it, I'm procrastinating. I still need to buy that plexiglass. I haven't bought it yet. Alright, here we go. Diesel remote. Right there. I love that sound. Alright, let me know. Over here. Over here. I think it looks less out of place over here, honestly. That's what we're gonna do. Activate. Let's have a peely offy. Yep. Yep. All right. Velcro. All right, what do you think? Carbon monoxide alarm. Looks good right there. I like that. But would that over here be better? Would it go off, you know, too often? Is that too much heat being by the stovepipe? I don't know. Where am I going to put my dream catcher? I'm not joking, by the way. I'll put it here and just hope that the heat doesn't ruin it at some point. I don't know. I don't know, guys. That is, what the hell is that? CR123A. Oh. The frickin' battery better last at least a year. I could have just went to Walmart and probably spent the exact same amount of money on like a Kidda or whatever that brand's called, you know, a normal freaking one. We're gonna do the 3M tape. And honestly, that's really all I need to do with this. It's got 3 screw holes, but do I want to make holes in the wall? Probably be better if I did. I mean, this is the best mounting tape you can get, but you know them washboardy gravel roads? We'll put it kind of low, kind of right there. I guess I'll put some screws in it. All right. Ooh, ah, my ears. Yikes. What are you doing? Oh, you're doing your calibrate.
Hello from Xsense. Press the test silence button to test.
I don't want to press it. Okay. I'm gonna have frickin' nightmares if that thing ever starts talking to me in the middle of the night. It's probably listening. It's probably like frickin' data tracking. Start advertising to me in my sleep. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna get some tiny little like 1/2-inch wood screws for that, just because I overdo everything. Alright, I got some little teeny tiny number 6 wood screws, the Hillman ones. So they have little perfect size little head for these. It probably came with screws. Oh, yeah. These are better. Alright, the only thing left to do in the bedroom area is trim out around this window. I'll do that later, you know. We gotta do power system stuff in this video. hooking up the systems of the van. Alright, we're in the kitchen now. And I got this, my under cabinet light to install. It's so like slim. What if I just put it back here, you know? What if I center it over the window? Nah, I should center it on the cabinet and put it, it would look so weird out here in the middle of nowhere though. It's gotta go in the back. That's the only logical thing to do, guys, right? I mean, that wouldn't be ideal for cooking, but I'll still see what I'm doing. I mean, what if I put it right there? That's honestly not horrible. Just like that. I might be crazy for this, but I kind of like that. Because that's the most functional thing to do. Yeah. I'm doing that. Okay? You guys are probably screaming at your TV like, no, that looks terrible. See, I kept the router out in case I wanted to do something like that over here, but I'm not. Alright, so I got a center, find center, draw a line, line them up, screw it in, drill a hole, run the wire. That's it. And I gotta get a switch for this guy. And I don't know if I'm gonna put that underneath or inside the cabinet. I don't have a switch, so I'll do that later anyway. And then we'll just do center here. So 36. Boop. Okay. Right here. 16 and a half. So 8 and a quarter. Yeah. I like it. It's so slim, you know, it's like, it doesn't look out of place at all right there. And it's perfect, like, it's perfectly positioned to light up the sink and the stove right here. So this is the most functional place I can put this light. I'm gonna go ahead and use these really crappy screws that it came with, because it has these little pluggy doos to go over the holes, which is kind of nice. There we go. All right. Click. All right, now I need to drill a tiny hole. It doesn't need to be massive because it's just wires. And I'm just gonna go straight up from where it is, right here. And what I can do is actually like run them under the carpet so they really are never even seen until they get to the back. And I will wait to wire these on until I get a switch for that porch light, because they all take the same power source, you know. All right, all the lights that I have are installed. So I guess now we need to like try to secure these batteries. That's my next task, and make it not look ghetto. Okay, so I ran my night light wire over here and some split loom, and I tied it into the conduit for the water pump and kitchen lights. It's like way too much wire for some 3/8 conduit, but it did fit, and you know, it's all in there now. What I'm trying to figure out at the moment is a not too hideous way to secure my batteries. And what I'm thinking is a couple of tubifers horizontally from this wall stud over to there, and then one from there down to the next one, just below the height of the battery. And then I'm gonna go get some black ratchet straps, or like the, you know, the kind that you just pull. That way the batteries are removable, and I'll just strap them down that way. It's kind of my thought. I gotta go to the store anyway. I got a list. So here's what I came up with. It's nothing special, but I got some carpet scraps I'm gonna put along this 2x4 all the way over. And then I've got these. I wish they weren't green. They didn't have, you know, black ones or nothing. And some of these strap things. And I'm gonna put one on each side and then one in the middle between the two batteries. And yeah, you'll see. I'll start by taping these on. It is so nice out right now. It's like almost 70. I think I need to grill tonight. I haven't grilled in forever. Well, unless you count that cheap steak I made when I was camping that I cooked over scraps of pine. You know, it tasted good. Might have got a little drain damage from the chemicals, but you know. See, that's a 2-pack of straps, so I could put one over the top too to try and hold them down that way. But over here on the back side of the wheel tub, or whatever you want to call it, we'll call it the fender, there's metal under there. So I can't screw a 2x4 into the floor right there. I can if I go back like an inch or two. So, you know, I'll do one for now, and we'll see if I need to do another one. And I looked everywhere for like a roll of rubber, just a flat like rubber tape to put under the straps to create friction, you know, so they can't slide around. But I couldn't find anything. I looked all over the store. So, you know, I'd like to get something like that going on too. That way the battery can't slide around on these straps. But I needed like I just wanted something not too complicated that would be good to, you know, make them removable. And I didn't want to use that same strap that I used for the water tank, because I thought it was ugly, and then I ended up with, you know, frickin' fluorescent green anyway, so whatever. They had camo. I'm gonna put this one behind this one to make it the same height, or, you know, make it flush-ish, sort of. Okay, so the idea is like put one straight in the middle. So I just need to kind of mark where that is. And I made the 2x4 like right here below these ribby-doos on the like flat part of the battery. So and I'm using nice stainless screws for, because they bite good. This is one example where tacks aren't the best screw, because they don't like have a lot of, you know, they're not a coarse thread. So okay, I got screws back there, so I'm gonna try to not hit it. Oh yeah, that's good. That'll work. I think they went a little overboard with the packaging on this. How in the heck do you... There we go. Okay. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So we hook onto the one side. go around and we go through the middle. Watch these not be long enough. That would be hilarious. Looks like they might be really close. If this cam buckle touches the battery, I'm going to have to come up with a better idea. Am I doing this right? I don't think I'm doing this right. Work, fingers, work. Come on. Making me look dumb on camera. There we go. There we go. Yeah, this cam buckle touches the battery, which I don't like at all. I'm gonna have to, maybe I'll just put some carpet there or something. I mean, is it the worst idea you've ever seen? They're there, they're, you know, they're on there. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put something on the corner though, right where that cam buckle is, to protect the battery. Piece of carpet ought to do it, yeah. See, I could have came out further with that one, but I want the generator to sit here, so I don't want nothing, you know. In the last video, I showed you guys a couple of the breakers that I bought, and this is what they look like. And I was just reading up on stuff, because I have this book. Craig, one of my subscribers, I know you're probably watching this, recommended this book, and I bought it. But in here it says that this style of breaker sucks. And you shouldn't use these because they don't actually trip when they're supposed to. So I'm going to get some better ones. I'm going to buy them on Amazon. They're going to be expensive. Not really, but I'm going to get a better brand. So I'm going to go order those tonight. And maybe you'll see that in this video, maybe not. But I just wanted to mention that because, you know, I showed you guys these in that last video. So if you're doing this, well, don't take any of my advice, for one, you know, like I've said before. But don't buy these Amazon breakers because apparently they can be unsafe. So just so you know. One last thing I'm going to do before I go spend money I don't have at Menards and Amazon is I'm going to trim out this back window and the opening for the cab. And for that I'm going to use that plastic wall. Exactly how I trimmed out that window behind the kitchen. And I just removed the window screen and all the remotes and that CO alarm because I sanded this handy panel to make it a little smoother. And I removed that foil tape and insulation that I had on there. So I'm all ready to go. I'm just gonna go cut some of that handy panel in just a thin strip I've only got like an inch that I need to fill in here. And then I'm going to use power grab to glue it on, and then trim it with a knife to make it flush with the wall. And then I'll probably just paint right up to the edge of it, and that'll be good enough. Another thought that I had, which is what I'll probably do around the entry door, is automotive door trim. Automotive door edge trim, you know, the stuff that you stick over the edges of your car door. I could put that around the handy panel to make a nice, give it a good appearance. So I might do that around the entry door because there is no like void to fill. It's pretty much the handy panel's flush with the door frame. But for this, I'm going to do it just how I did that kitchen window. Yeah, wow. I find this to be incredible, but 8 foot of this is not enough to go all the way around the window. I'm surprised. What I think I'll do is, because I have stuff going on under here, so it'll kind of hide the seam a little bit, I think I'm going to go around to those parts, because I have just enough of a gap left over where if I put a seam like under the window latch and stuff, you wouldn't really see it. Not that it matters, it's gonna blend in once I use the white power grab on everything, but yeah, that's just really surprising. I somehow ended up with 3 open tubes of power grab, so I'm gonna start with the most empty one, or the least filled first, because I'm gonna be using a lot of it here. It's kind of a essentially filling the void with adhesive caulk. And that's how I did that kitchen window too. I think I showed that in the video. I just power grabbed the snot out of it. And whatever power grab I wipe off of this, because I'm using way too much here, I will use my fingers to put on this little extra part that I need to go cut. I'm going to put it tight to the window and then smush, and that'll force the power grab towards the front, which will adhere it to the edge of the handy panel. And I will go back and touch up all the paint with a brush, you know, tomorrow or something, after this is all set up and dried. I like this plastic wall. I'm glad I bought this and not FRP, because this stuff is way easier to work with. I have to make sure that I continue to maintain the exterior paint on this rear wall that I built. Because if this plywood ever got rotten on me, it would be, you know, major rehab project to rebuild this frickin' rear wall. You know, the way that I constructed this is, you know, it would be like a month of downtime. I would have to pretty much either find a long-term, like rent a month at a campground or something, and well, no, because then I'd be pissing people off with power tools. It would be quite the ordeal. So all I gotta do is just, like every month, just check the caulking and the paint on all of this plywood in the rear of this van, you know? It's not that big a deal, but, you know, just gotta keep it from rotting on me, because that would suck. All right, just gotta measure this little bit, go cut a little more, glue that on, and then I can razor knife the edge flush with the wall, wipe the caulk smooth everywhere, and then move on to the cab opening. All right, I got that piece on. I just gotta trim it flush with the rest of the wall. And I used both sides of this razor blade already, but I think it's still fresh enough. Kind of hard to tell because I put so much power grab on the backside. I am gonna go change my blade. It's just not, it's cutting like butter, you know, it's what I want. So I'm surprised to hear a train out there right now. It's Saturday night. Usually they don't run on Saturday nights. Oop, cutting into the wall. Went too far. That's okay, because we're touching up the paint, so. There we go. Basically use the wall as a guide for the blade. Oh yeah. Perfection. And yeah, I should have did this before I painted the wall, but you know, that's okay. There are no rules. There are rules for wiring your power system, though. You know, at least when it comes to like wires and fuses and stuff, but all right, window is trimmed out. It doesn't look like much now, but let me just get some paint on it. It'll look great. Now for over here, I'm gonna do the exact same thing except I'm going to take the 8-foot strip and find center on that and put it center with the opening. That way the seams are both down on the sides. And I'll just show you that when I'm done. Alright, for this I just put the power grab on like I was icing a cake. And then I put a 2-inch strip of the plastic wall on it, and then I just kind of beat it like it owed me money with my fist, and then wiped off the excess. And it's a little wavy on the inside by the cab because that's how the plywood's cut, but I think it looks good enough. And I'm going to wait until the power grab dries before I try to trim it with the knife, unlike the rear window. So I was up all night kicking my credit card in the butt one last time, but I got everything else I need for this to wire this van up. And I got a bunch of DC fuses. I'm not doing breakers now, I'm doing fuses for the DC. And I got all the correct types and the holders for them and everything. All that stuff's coming on Tuesday. It's Sunday right now. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get some paint on this, put some poly on some stuff that needs more of that, and then I'm gonna spend a good hour just cleaning every inch of this van. And I'll show you why. I got this mattress like last like Tuesday or Wednesday. It's Sunday now. And I just noticed this. I don't think that's really a big deal or anything, but what I'll go ahead and do is just clean the heck out of the van and then pop open my mattress and throw it in there. Alright, this is that RV ventilation mat thing. One of you guys said it like left fuzzies all over the damn place. And looking at it, yeah, I can see that happening. And for what you get here, this thing was pretty expensive, actually. I think it was like 40 bucks for a twin size. Kinda crazy, you know. Yeah, it probably won't be sufficient in keeping condensation out, but whatever. If anything, it adds to the cushiness of the bed. Okay, mattress. I got the 8-inch memory foam cloud mattress, and it says it's like sleeping on a cloud, and that's why I bought it. I'm a side sleeper, you know. I didn't want something like firm. And in twin size, they're like all firm. They're like, these mattresses are made for kids. We want them to suffer, so we'll make them hard. Hand this to the responsible one. There you go. See? Told you they're made for kids. Okay. I just rip it open. Binding legal agreement. Uh-oh, it's expanding already. I'm not ready. do in such a tiny place? Alright. At risk of cutting my mattress, I need a friggin' knife. Is that the bottom? Does it matter? I don't think it matters. Alright. That'll take like a day to expand. No, not that long. Pillow top. Just like my Buick seats. See, this van would be a lot bigger if you didn't do a regular sized bed like I'm doing. Like if you did a folding bed or like made your own mattress by cutting up a bunch of foam. But what I wanted is the convenience of not having to like make my bed every day. Like say I had a really long day of living my dream and I pulled into camp and it was super late and I was just totally exhausted because I had so much fun that day that, you know, I was just about to fall over and pass out. And just come right back here and bed's already there, already made. Don't gotta deal with it. You know? Yeah, it takes up like a lot of room. There's no like breakfast nook or, you know. That would be another really cool thing though, you know, have like 2 benches back here with a table in the middle and then have it convert into a bed. That would be really cool, actually. But, I don't know. It's just me here, you know. I'm going to have a nice little chair right here. Just a tiny one. And then I might make something going on with the driver's seat where I can swivel it. I want a different driver's seat, too. Because that thing sucks. So... I was looking at like captain's chairs for boats, which is probably illegal to have as your driving seat in a vehicle, but you know, whatever. The seat belt's gonna be functional, so no matter what I do. But those captain's chairs, there's some pretty damn luxurious ones. They're like $500 though, but might be worth it. I've been kind of keeping an eye out for a used one too. Like just an old used Class A motorhome seat that's been... But those are frickin' heavy and huge too, so... I just need something simple. I can use the same seat frame for the driver's seat for whatever I use because it's a standard like size. And there is a swivel mount that'll work for these too. I think it's like $200, but anyway, this is gonna inflate, so to say, and yeah, it fits. I know it looks wonky right now, but it's still got a... My last 2 mattresses I bought, they were both queen when I had apartments, you know. But they came the same way, all rolled up in a bag. And this one feels pretty soft though. My last mattress I bought, I spent like $600 on that thing. And it was rock hard. I couldn't sleep for like a month after I bought that thing. Finally it like, I broke it in, you know. I got enough like sweat in it or something, you know. It's show and tell time. And this ain't even all of it. I have the world's ugliest wiring schematic ever made on Microsoft Paint. And that's just the DC. So those breakers weren't going to be good enough. So I went all out with my fuses. I did my research. And coming off of the batteries, the main fuse for the batteries, I've decided to fuse those. I'm going with a Class T 400 amp fuse. These fuses can handle a 20,000 volt short circuit. They have sand in them, so if it breaks, the sand extinguishes the arc. And then here's the holders for them. Look at the size of these friggin' things. And that's recommended for like really high energy lithium batteries. But yeah, there's the fuse holders. I have two of these. So I have one for the battery. So that's going to come immediately off the battery on the positive wire. And then coming immediately off the battery on the negative wire, I'm going to put my shunt. I'm going to put those before the battery switch. Coming off the bus bars that I showed you already, over to the inverter, I have another one of those same fuses. This one's a 350 amp. The inverter is 280 amp is what it's rated at. And it's said to do 1.2 to 1.5 times greater than the rating of the inverter. So I did a 350 for that with another one of these giant fuse blocks. Coming off of my DC to DC going to the bus bar, I'm doing what's called a mega fuse, also known as AMG. Those fuses are still on their way, but I got 50 amp coming off of the DC to DC, and then I'm doing 90 amp, same thing, coming from the solar controller down to the bus bars. And then I have a third one. I need to get a fourth one of these actually, because one's going to go up by my engine battery going to the DC to DC. But this one is going to come from the solar panels to the solar controller. And then I wanted to get a shutoff for the solar panels themselves going into the controller. And I was originally going to do a breaker and just call that good enough. But I ended up buying a solar shutoff switch. And I was just going to get another one of these battery switches because these are awesome. But for the solar switch, this is rated for 1,000 volts, which is more appropriate for solar panels. Because my solar panels, they don't put out 1,000 volts, but they say max circuit 1,000 volt for that. So this is made to shut off like the whole solar array, you know. And this is going to go up in the cabinet coming off of the panels where they come through the roof. In that cabinet above all of this is going to be the switch, and then running down from the switch is going to be one of these fuses into the solar charge controller. I got a switch for that porch light on the other side over the kitchen, so this is going to go on that cabinet in the kitchen, and it'll be for my porch light on that side of the van, so I can turn it on, look out the window, scare away a raccoon or something. I got more battery terminal lugs because I didn't have enough of the, I got 1O or 1 1/0 gauge for the batteries. I think the largest size AWG, American wiring gauge size, is 4/0. So you get all the way down to 2, and then you have 1/0, 2/0, 3/0, 4/0. So I got a bunch of these in 5/16 and 3/8 stud, because the studs on my bus bars and my battery disconnect are 3/8, but the studs on the actual batteries are smaller. So I got 4 gauge wire, 20 feet of it, to go from the engine to my DC to DC charger, and then from the DC to DC to the bus bars. I could have did 6 gauge and it would have been all right, but I went with 4, just because it's a longer run of wire. So to, you know, prevent voltage drop. Any bigger of a DC to DC charger, like if I did a 60 amp or something, I would have probably went down to 2 gauge. And this was actually cheaper than I remember it being. I think it was like 75 bucks for this. And then this is the 6 gauge that's going to run from my solar controller down to the bus bars, which is a 60 amp controller. You would think you'd want 4 gauge at least for that too, but the lugs on this solar controller only do 6. This is all my cables for my solar up on the roof. I have 10 gauge like little extensions with MC4s on them for hooking the panels together. And then I've got 10 gauge splitters. I do have 4-to-1 splitters, but I don't like them because they're only 12 gauge. So these are those like Bouge RV brand. So I might be selling these. They actually make solar combiner boxes where it's like a little electrical, like a conduit box basically, with waterproof glands on it, so you can put the wire in and then just hook them up that way. So my AC stuff, so I got more 12.3 extension cord, and coming off the inverter over to my distribution box, which I have not bought yet, I'm gonna do at least 8 gauge wire for that, and then everything else will be 12 gauge. Over on the passenger side, under the awning, opposite of the wall that all that stuff's gonna be on, I went ahead and got a outlet for the outside. So when I'm at camp, if there's anything I want to plug in on the outside of the van. For under the bed back there, and we'll call it the garage, and for under that desk, I've got a couple more outlet boxes with the same outlets that I put over there in the kitchen, and the plates for them. On that plexiglass, so I mentioned I might put some fans on it. I went ahead and got a 2-pack of these 120 millimeter black and red fans, and then I got black grills for them. And these light up. See? And it hasn't shown up yet, but I have a fan controller that can power up to 3 or 4 fans, and it has a little knob. So I'll be incorporating that into all my controls as well. So what I can do is flip a switch, turn a knob to control the speed of these 2 fans that I'm going to put at the top of the plexiglass on each corner to pull heat up and out of this whole area. Up in the cab, so my Buick has 4 ashtrays and 3 cigarette lighters. My van has 2 cigarette lighter style DC ports on either side of the dash. And I'm going to replace those with these. These are Quick Charge 3.0 and USB-C power delivery ports with an on-off button for them, because this will be way more functional than... For the big space in the dash up in the cab between those two things I just showed you, you can put all kinds of switches there. So I have a 1, 2, I guess 6-pack. I thought I bought a 5-pack, but rocker switches for various things. So I'm going to switch my DC to DC charger from up on the dash. I thought it had a controller, but it doesn't. It just has a sensor for if you're doing like lead acid or AGM batteries. There's like a temp sensor, some kind of sensor that you can wire into that. But for lithiums, you don't need that. It's already set up for lithium. Because that's kind of the whole point of a DC to DC charger, is so you can charge lithium batteries safely. Because if I just had lead acid or AGM, well, just lead acid, you wouldn't need any of that. You just have a relay and just wire it right off your alternator. But I got a bunch of rocker switches for the dash for whatever I want to put up there. And then newer Chevy vans than mine, I don't remember what year they started doing this, but they had an AC like 120 volt outlet on the dash and a built-in inverter. So what I'm gonna do, because my friend Mike, he needs a new visor for his van anyway, I'm gonna go down to the junkyard probably next weekend and try to find just that outlet out of a Chevy van and just take the outlet, and then I'll wire it to my inverter in the back, because I'm running a piece of conduit, like an actual pipe, between that area where the inverter is all the way up to basically under the dash, because that's how I'm going to run the wires for my DC to DC, and the like 12 gauge wire that I'm going to run up for my fridge, and then the trigger wire for the DC to DC. And then I might as well just run like some of this 12-3 extension cord up and have an outlet on the dash too. So that's kind of the plan. I'm gonna get like maybe a 1-inch piece of watertight conduit and run it under the floor of the cab, assuming I'm not getting anywhere near the exhaust. Another thing I can do is just go from the front of the box, because the box floor is like this much higher than the cab floor, and just run it from there and back, because I'm building a raised floor and a platform for my fridge, which, you know, you'll see that later. So I still need my AC distribution box, and I still need the plexiglass. I've been shopping around for that plexiglass, and I'm gonna get some. What I need is 27 1/4 by 54 or by 45. So I need like a 4x4 or a 3x4. They come in 2x4, 4x4, or 3x6. And look at these prices. Oh my God. Here's Menards. Here's Lowe's. And here's Home Depot. So there is an acrylic place, like a custom plastics place in town. I'm gonna give them a call tomorrow and see if I can just get a piece cut to the exact size that I need, and see how expensive that would be. Because what I'm looking for is basically a 1/4 inch thick, which they display it as like 0.180 or 0.220, you know, 220 thousandths of an inch or whatever. So yeah. So I'm gonna get started on this, but due to the time it takes for me to produce these videos, you're gonna have to see me do this next Saturday. I'm sorry. But it just, getting all of this together and organized and figuring out exactly what I need to wire this van, have it all ready to go so I can just do it, you know, has been a project in itself. I'm still waiting on the fuses for my solar and my DC to DC, and I still need to get that plexiglass. So thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Special thanks to Kira, Droop, Todd, Laura, and Scott for joining my Patreon. Thank you to John and everyone else who's donated with the thanks button. I appreciate all of you. And I appreciate all of you for subscribing to my channel and watching my videos. It means a lot to me. If you keep watching, I'll keep making them. Have a great week, everyone, and I will see you in the next one.